How to charge your customers. As someone who has just become a copywriter, one mistake that you're quite likely to make is that of underestimating the value of what you can provide to an online marketing business that needs an effective sales page. While it is pretty obvious that in the early days you are not going to be able to quote premium prices to your clients, it is also important to appreciate that as you develop your copywriting skills, your prices must always reflect the value that you bring to your client's business. For instance, to return to the example I used earlier in this report, if you write a sales page that generates $1 million in one day, with several more millions added subsequently, I would suggest that your services are worth more than $25,000. Of course, when you are creating a sales page, you have no way of knowing exactly how much sales revenue it is going to generate for your client, which is why you need to be a little creative when it comes to how you charge for your time and services. In the early days, what I would recommend is that you work for clients on a back-end fee basis. As you are relatively unknown, you do not ask them for money up front, but instead you have an agreement in place where they pay you a sum that is mutually agreed in advance on successful completion of the job. For example, you agree that the fee is $1,000 at the beginning, but they don't pay that until you deliver to their satisfaction. However, you do not work on this basis indefinitely, simply because although this is a reasonably effective foot-in-the-door tactic, it is not one that you can survive on in the long run. Consequently, what you should agree on with your client is that if after this first commission they want to continue working with you, you will do so on a stage payment basis. As an example, you might agree with your client that 33% is paid in advance. Another 33% tranche is to be paid at a pre-agreed point in the sales page creation process, with the final 34% paid on satisfactory delivery of the required copy. Okay, returning once again to the case of our $1 million sales page copywriting friend. If you get to the stage where you are working with big dog marketers who have the ability to create products that generate millions of dollars, agreeing to a flat rate fee up front is really not a great idea. It would be far better to reduce the initial fee and include a percentage for every sale made rather than going for a large lump sum up front with nothing to come subsequently, simply because in this way you are getting paid for doing the job properly. Think of it this way. Even if the sales page is for a digital information product that is going to be sold through ClickBank, with 75% of the commission going to affiliates, every penny the marketer behind the product receives after they have covered the cost of creating it is pure profit. Consequently, asking them for a 5% split of total sales revenue will still leave them with a very handsome profit, and because you have agreed to a lower upfront fee, their initial setup costs have been reduced in any case. Of course, this strategy is only going to work once you have acquired a reputation in the market for generating sales and a track record to prove that you can do so. As, however, a top-name marketer is unlikely to work with you if you have not already reached this level, this should not be a major problem. The final option is one that only really becomes appropriate if or when you become a famous copywriter yourself, someone who has reached the happy position where you can say no to any project that you really don't fancy because you already have enough top-quality clients to provide you with more high-paying work than you can reasonably handle. Now, instead of asking for a percentage cut of sales revenues, you are only willing to work with new clients in return for an equity share in the business for which you are providing the advertising copy. If, for example, someone approaches you with a new project or product which, through research, you can see is something with great potential, you lay down the rules because your position entitles you to do so. If the marketer who brings this idea to you is planning it as a spin-off from their existing business, you should insist that they establish a completely separate legal entity, for example, an LLC, to handle it. You can then agree to create the sales copy for the new product at no cost in return for a 50% stake in the company, so that your reward for creating the sales page, which will only take a couple of hours because of your swipe file collection, remember, is a half share of a business that could make millions of dollars. As you can see from this quick run through the various charging options available to you as a professional copywriter, it is a question of starting small and humble, developing your skills as you go along, while always remembering to charge appropriately as your business and reputation quickly develops.